There are many SUVs out there, and although they may be in different classes, such as the Jeep Cherokee and the Lexus, they are actually competitors because they're in the same price point. Stay right with us on Car Coach Reports. Welcome to Car Coach Reports. I'm Lauren Fix. Today we are doing a comparison test, which we typically don't do. We're going to take the Lexus NX 300 and compare it to the Jeep Cherokee. This is a 2019, so it's got the new front end. So why would you do that, you might think? Well, people think when it comes to crossovers and SUVs that it has to do with price and has to do with luxury. But in this case, this vehicle, which is the Cherokee Limited 2-liter, has a lot of options, and it comes in at $38,000. Well, at $38,000, you're at the base price for the NX. And yes, many of you have asked, I'm looking for a vehicle in that $40,000 range. What can I get? Well, here's two vehicles, and we're going to compare them on some of the top features that I always say are important when you own a family crossover. So number one on my list, and everybody knows this, is going to be seating position. All right, there is two-way lumbar on this side and no lumbar on the other side. So, thumbs down. I'm sorry, Lexus, but seriously, even on the Camry, even on the other vehicles, we've constantly had this conversation. If there is no lumbar on the passenger side, why is the passenger suffering? You tell me. All right, inside the Jeep, here are some of the first things that come to mind. We have seating comfort. Number one, four-way lumbar on both the driver and passenger sides. Double thumbs up for Jeep. Well done. Thank you for listening to your consumers who actually have to sit in both sides of the seat. So when you take a look at the Lexus, it is an aggressive and definitely a polarizing look of the vehicle as a whole. But you notice this sloped down roof line. The whole roof line slopes down. That will limit your overall storage, but it's also going to limit the space in the back seat. So what do I mean? Let me show you. When you sit in the back seat on a coupe style type SUV, you still have the knee room, but what you lose is the headroom. And I'm 5'8", and let me tell you, I'm about that much from the roof line. So keep in mind, whoever sits in the back seat should note that. I will also note the quality of the materials is pretty nice. Hey, it's a Lexus. But Jeep is competing in this category whether they want to admit it or not. Let's go take a look. So when you're looking at the Cherokee and even the Grand Cherokee as a direct competitor, you'll notice the flat roof line. What does that mean to you? That means more storage in back and more head and shoulder room in the second row. All right, the materials are not as good as the Lexus. We know that. And it's not about luxury. We're talking about price point here. So going in the back seat of the Jeep, and the doors do open up wide enough for child safety seats on both, so that is a plus. You get in the back seat and you can see that there is tons of headroom. It actually goes up. So if you're 6 feet tall, you're not going to have a problem getting in the back seat. Tons of leg room, shoulder room, and this seat's pretty far back. The materials are nice. They're not the quality of Lexus, but you certainly won't be disappointed. And you even have soft interior pieces too. That's really good with kids. Storage, we're going to check that out. So we're talking about trunk space. Again, the side is kind of polarizing. I'm not really the biggest fan of these bulging lights, but that's Toyota Lexus's new look. So let's take a look underneath in the storage area, and there is also, of course, on both vehicles, the ability to kick and open. There is a lot of storage here. That's pretty good. There's a rubber mat that comes with it, and of course a cover to protect your goods. But the storage itself is kind of limiting because of the slope back of the roof line. Is that important to you? I don't know. Are you putting a stroller back here, a set of golf clubs? Again, that's a personal thing. And when you look underneath this heavy-duty mat, there's no spare. Let's check out the Jeep. Now, take a look at the storage in the back of the Jeep. It's huge! Yes, these vehicles are not in the same category, but it has to do with your family. As I keep saying, what are you using this vehicle for? Are you hauling people around? Are you going to work? If you've got children, it's certainly a factor. So now you're looking at a lot of storage in the back. Yes, it's not the same luxury quality, but are you willing to give that up to maybe have some more vehicle? Here is even more storage underneath. It's hidden. And yet, there is a full-size spare here. Now, if you're stuck in the side of the road and you know how to change a flat tire, you'll be very grateful. Quality is not what we're talking about. We're talking about family usage. And for those of you that aren't that tall and you can't reach the top of the hatch, Jeep has gotten smart. They put it right here. You can press it and walk away. Visibility is good out the front, it's good out the sides, and a little bit limited in back because of the slope in the back of the vehicle. But overall, with all the cameras and everything, you've got pretty good visibility. Visibility, big front screen, same as on the Lexus out the back, a little bit more visibility because of the larger piece of glass in the hatch. Side, same thing, round view camera, backup camera, that's all standard now. Gauges in front of you are actual gauges, as is in the Lexus. I think one of the best screens, the multimedia interfaces in the business is the Uconnect screen. It is an 8-inch screen. It has everything you need. Apple CarPlay, Sirius satellite radio. It has all the technology you want, and it's full color. So you can adjust it any way you want. And you know what? Interesting, the fuel economy in both are about the same, somewhere in that 21, 22 miles to the gallon. And that's in our test loop over the last week. Now looking at the gauges in front of me, what I'm seeing is actual gauges. This is great. You can adjust them in any way you want, which I think is what consumers want. You've got the ability to have lane change departure. All this is here. And in the center stack, you've got a 4-inch screen. It's longer, but it's a split screen, so it allows you to have the technology where you want. You have an actual clock here, which is nice. Heated and air-conditioned seats. You can set the button and the temperatures all right here. All your technology is here. Of course, it's a Lexus. It should all be here. So overall, where you live inside this vehicle, it has a lot of pluses. Small sunroof, which is the same sunroof that's in the Jeep. Do you want a panoramic roof? That's always extra if you do. As far as the shifter and everything is the same, 2 cup holders and a 2-stage glove box. One is got like for your wallet or glasses or whatever you want to put there, your phone, and a gigantic, certainly much larger glove box. Also with the change container, 2 connections for USBs and a direct connection if you want to plug in a radar detector or something you want to charge. So the ride in this vehicle is very comfortable, considering the size wheels that it has, and again, all the specs are down below. The braking is good and the performance is also acceptable. I prefer it in the sport mode, but that's me. As far as performance, they're pretty equal. I mean, everyone's got 2-liter turbos. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't make a 2-liter turbo, and I've asked that question before, and no one can seem to come up with a brand that doesn't make one. So in auto mode, it literally is a daily driver, which is great. But I think one of the things that it does need is to have just a little bit more performance. The ride is really comfortable, actually. You'd be surprised. You think, oh, it's a Jeep, it's going to be a rough ride. Even in sport mode, I'm getting almost an exact same ride comfort, almost, as a Lexus. So that's why I say you should drive both. I mean, you're paying for the luxury, but is that extra soft panels important? I don't know. You know what? Soft touch everywhere. Everybody's doing it. So these vehicles are very different in many ways, but they are also extremely comparable in many ways. So when you have $40,000 in your pocket or in your finances and you're saying, I need to lease or buy a vehicle, what are your options? Well, number one, please check the insurance rates. They are completely different on both vehicles. Also check out the leasing rates before you make a decision, and of course, compare from dealer to dealer. So the Jeep offers a lot for the money, coming in at $34,000, loaded up, and you're just under $40,000 without incentives. Looking at the Lexus NX 300, a luxury SUV without any question, has different technology, it has different safety, but they're both great choices in that $40,000 category. Which would I buy? Well, that's a tough call. I'm going to let you make the decision. Start the conversation down below. Which vehicle would you buy? Let me know. Also, check out our 4-Minute Fridays. If you like what you're seeing, like it, share it, and of course, comment. I will absolutely respond, and especially if you have additional questions which I did not address. There'll be information on both vehicles and links to their websites so that you can get even more details. I suggest taking both for a spin, and check out our Patreon page. We appreciate your support. We want to upgrade this so your experience is even better. And check out Car Coach Reports. All the links are down below. Have a great day. I don't know which I'm going to drive next. Lexus, Jeep, Lexus, Jeep. I don't know. Let's keep bombs out of my pocket. And now we will sync. Ready? Camera 1. Okay, all 3 together. I know you're laughing.